4K and welcome to another episode of Loot and Booty. And welcome back. So on today's episode, we're not going to have a final destination like we usually do, just because I got so much thrifting going on in this video that it's just going to basically be a massive thrift fest. So I'm heading on to my first location here, which is a Facebook Marketplace pickup. I managed to score a whole bunch of brand new games for super cheap. I can't wait to show you. I'm heading there right now. So it's still going to take a few minutes to get there, so in the meantime you can check out part 1 of my latest thrifting adventures. And my daughter and I are on the hunt for retro goodness. And over here I got a lot of PS3 and 360 games. They're popping up all over the place now. Pity I've just picked up Body Count about a month ago. That would have been a good score. You got Pocket Bike Racer, that Burger King exclusive game. A lot of other stuff I've got, so that's why I'll skip over a lot of good games. Left 4 Dead on PC, good game. Super Elf Bowling Collection, sweet goodness. That's $1.99 too much. More VHS madness. We got Death Wish 2 with Chuck Bronson, super cool movie. And my daughter picked up one of her favorite movies, Indiana Jones The Last Crusade. She loves all of them, seen them multiple times. And reaction, I can tell you what reaction I had to that cover. And Heino, super hits, Germany's bestseller. And apparently Andy Warhol clone. And got a box of CDRs, a whole bunch there, definitely worth $2. That's at least 15 new Sega Saturn import games. And I found Popeye. You gotta be really old to know who Popeye is these days. And the Tarantino collection, I've actually already got this. This will be good for a reseller if you were there, but I'm not, so whatever. And some N64 games, Hybrid Heavens, pretty cool. Never played GT64 though. And we got one of these VHS rewinders, remember these? I mean, they were practical for video shop, but you know, having them at home is a bit redundant, but cool to see. Sing along with Connie Francis? I don't think so. Johnny Wakeland, Double Trouble. Seriously, Johnny, that is not happening. Stop smiling. And we got Danny Hooper, Just a Part of Losing You. I can explain exactly why it was lost, Danny. The hair, man. The hair. That's what lost it. And we got a whole lot of cassettes here. New Kids, sweet. I've actually already got this one. Creepy. Anyway, Bryan Adams. I love this album. Fantastic. Got that also. And oh man, Miami Vice on cassette. I've got the vinyl, but damn, this is a pickup for sure. In the Air Tonight and Jean Hammer. I've just discovered where music rhythm peripherals go to die. Some VHS's. Oops, rewind that. Look what we got here. Some good old Burt Reynolds goodness. Smokey and the Bandit. And I found the Driver Collector Pack, San Francisco. Very nice. This is a European version. Wonder how that got you. And we got some more VHS's, Navy SEALs, and Sean Connery's best movie, Hunt for Red October, at least the one I love the most. And we got Asteroids on Atari 2600, cool. And Night Stalker on television, which I already have. Oh man, Repo Man, damn, this is a good find for VHS, never see this movie. I usually don't check this chord section, but look what I found. Commodore 64 Power Brick. I was gonna pick it up, but I'm not paying $20 for that thing, forget it. And Songs of Joy. Wow, this doesn't look like anything to do with Joy. Nobody's Children. No wonder they're Nobody's Children. Look at these mutants. Holy cow, nobody want to claim them. And I found the Lynx Championship Course. This is like an expansion for Lynx by Access Software. Such an excellent PC golf game from the 90s. And we're still on the hunt, me and my daughter, and her mask just popped off. boing. Thought that was hilarious. And, oh, this is the cool Jackie Chan movie. Do not buy the re-releases though. This is by Dimension. If you see that, avoid it. These movies are edited and butchered. Go for the original versions, please. And I did find the original version of Invasion USA. Taking that. And obviously the original Ghostbusters. Yeah, we got some Knights of the Old Republic. This is part 2 on PC. Way too expensive for a thrift store. This is part 1, even more ridiculous. No way. And here is Ellen Page, or whatever the heck she's called now, and Beyond Two Souls. Lots of PS3 games. That's not a bad price for that game. And this wrestling one. If I collected PS3 stuff. Oh, this is just creepy. Look at this. Just let kids be kids. Don't dress them up all weirdly. This is just all kinds of creepazoid. No. Let's look through some more of these mutants. Oh, jeez, talk about mutants. Donnie and Marie. Baby Elvis, Donnie. It's even worse. Oh my god, look at the hair. It's a thing of nightmare fuel. And old Chuck Norris collection, how's all this? Super cool. Oh, Firewalker, this is probably the worst one besides Top Dog, but I have to get it because it's so bad it's good. And we got an old PS3 here, all beaten up all to hell. I don't even know they're bothering selling this thing, just dump it. And we got a PS2 next to it for $20 complete with memory cards and controllers. That's a really good deal. And Cosme game. Whoa, I haven't seen Cosme since the 80s. Obviously on the wrong cover. Let's see what's inside here. No? Cosme distributed FIFA games? What the heck? Guess you learn something new every day. And some trash over there, and even more trash there. And some Super Smash Brothers if you're into that. Oh, I found the Grid by Codemasters. Super cool racing game I've always wanted to try. Some more VHS stuff. Oh yeah, New Kids alert. I'll add that to my dodgy New Kids collection. Thank you. V. Oh, I watched this as a kid. The original miniseries. This is a good old double cassette here. Gonna pick that one up too. That was super fun to watch. And I found one more. This Absolute Cheese Fest POW with David Carradine. You know it's going to be bad. Okay, so let's start checking out all my thrifting finds. Bear in mind, these are thrifting finds I found over the last about 2 months worth of stuff. I've either been really lucky or something's going crazy, but I found a lot of good stuff. This is most of it. There are a few things missing. I don't include furniture and kind of shelving and that kind of stuff in these videos because that's boring. I'm just showing you like the cool pop culture stuff like games and videos and that kind of stuff. So this is part 1 of my thrifting finds. Let's get going. So first up, I found Lynx 2004 on the Xbox original. So I haven't played this one, but I just love golf games. And I don't think this game was actually made by Access, the guys that made the original Lynx games. It doesn't have their name anywhere, it's just got Microsoft Game Studios on here. This one is complete, as you can see. It's even got the old sign up for the Xbox Live kind of deal. Instruction manual, everything. It's in excellent condition. I think this was only a couple bucks, so why not? Next is one of my favorite Death Wish movies, Death Wish 2.
You believe in Jesus? Yes, I do. Well, you're going to meet him.
I know this is goes against popular opinion, but for me the order of best Death Wish movies is Death Wish 3, 2 and then 1 in that order. I know people hate number 3, I absolutely love it. It's such an exploitation-y movie. But anyway, Death Wish 2 is awesome. Bronson at his best. If you've never seen Bronson in a movie, you definitely need to check out some of his older stuff. 80s and 70s are the best. Anyway, this movie also has a young Lawrence Fishburne. If you've never seen it, you know Morpheus from The Matrix. He's a real scumbag punk in this movie. and Bronson takes care of him, so definitely look out for this one. Next, we got a double dose of New Kids on the Block VHSs. You're probably wondering, what the hell are you collecting that for? Well, I don't even know why I'm collecting New Kids stuff. I went to a convention a few years ago and I found a New Kids yo-yo that was still in packaging, and it just screamed the 80s to me. And I used to watch the cartoon as a kid. That's probably responsible for this, and I really enjoyed it. It was basically like, you know, the Beatles' Hard Day's Night put into a cartoon form. Anyway, so this is a double dose. I found these in separate thrift stores at completely different times, which makes it even weirder. But anyway, some dodgy New Kids VHS, which probably everybody wants to burn, but yeah, I'll slap it on my 80s shelf. Next is a GameCube pickup. I know, a GameCube pickup in a thrift store, it's so rare to find. Anyway, this is Dave Mirra 2 BMX. These extreme sports games are usually not my deal, but honestly, these Dave Mirra games are actually really, really fun to play. And if you've never played one, you really should. Disc, everything's in perfect condition. It's really cool. These are kind of like, you can look at them as kind of spin-offs of the Tony Hawk games. The first two, at least, is very similar in style. I'm not a big fan of the Tony Hawk series at all. I liked the first two when they originally came out and I enjoyed them a lot. After that, the series just goes all to hell. But anyway, enough about that. This though is super cool. If you've never played it and you like kind of extreme sports games and that kind of style, then check this one out. Some more VHS madness. I've got Stargate and Red Dwarf Smeg Ups. So let's start with Stargate. Man, I loved this movie when I originally saw it in the theater. I'm a massive Kurt Russell fan, so this is just awesome. I never really got into the TV series, even though it had MacGyver in it, but something about it just didn't really grab me. But I really love this original movie. I wish they made a sequel to it. That would have been super cool. And Red Dwarf Smeg Ups. This is a really strange find to find in a Canadian thrift store. You know, the reason I say that is because I don't ever see Red Dwarf stuff here at all, like never. So it's kind of weird. I don't know how popular the show was when it originally ran over here, because I never lived here during this period. But yeah, I love this show. I've seen it, like watched it through twice, the original, right up to like season 8 or 10. I think they made even more after that, like 12, who knows. I lost track. I watched like a lot of Red Dwarf. Anyway, it's super cool to have this. This is actually all the screw-ups from a whole bunch of seasons, like Smeg Ups, definitely.
Look, just conserve your energy. Stand and I'll be back.
So I'm glad to have this one. Got an Xbox 360 game here called Grid. This is made by Codemasters. Those guys know how to make excellent racing games. I'm really excited to try this one. This game is fully complete. Look, it's even got a advert here for the steering wheel. The condition of these thrift store games has been really good lately. You know, usually you find them all trashed up, but found some really good ones. Another double dose of VHS. So I got Smokey and the Bandit, the original, and Romancing the Stone. So let's start with Smokey and the Bandit here. Good old Burt Reynolds. If you've never seen this, you really should as well. It's one of those late 70s kind of trucker car movies, you know, those ones. They made so many, like Convoy and all those kind of things. Anyway, this movie's hilarious. Burt is great as always. Lots of cool car action. This is just a fun movie. And next is Romancing the Stone with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. If you've never watched this movie, you're probably thinking, Romancing the Stone? That sounds rubbish. It really isn't. This is kind of like an Indiana Jones kind of deal, although not exactly, but you know, it's got that kind of vibe, that great adventure vibe. It's also got Danny DeVito, who is super, super good in this movie.
That's just the beginning of what's going on down here.
Him and Michael Douglas have a really good chemistry on screen. They were in a lot of different movies together. But Romancing the Stone, this is a great adventure movie if you've never seen it. It's also got a really good sequel called Jewel of the Nile. Not as good as this one, but still well worth watching. Gonna look out for that on VHS as well. Next is a PC game pickup for Another World 15th Anniversary Edition. So as soon as I saw this, I noticed the PEGI 12, which means this is a European version, and I obviously just picked it up immediately. It looks like it's a re-release, obviously, of Another World. It's got like play in high definition, music and sound effects have been re-recorded. It's got a whole bunch of extra stuff here. It's kind of like a re-release, I guess. I was looking for a date here, and I found that it came out in 2006, this re-release. So that's pretty cool. This is an excellent like 3D kind of action adventure game if you've never played them. Next is a box of floppy disks for an old PC. As you can see, these things look brand new. These are obviously from the 90s. You can see they're like translucent and it's got all wacky colors in here. I just love it. Yeah, it's always cool to find these kinds of things, especially at a thrift store. Nice little package, and it was like about $1 or $2. More VHS madness. I got Navy SEALs and Frantic. Let's check out Navy SEALs first. If you've never seen this is an awesome movie. There was a Commodore 64 game based on it as well, released by Ocean. Super difficult game, really well made, but damn is it hard. I never got anywhere in that game. Anyway, this one has got Charlie Sheen, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton. It's a smorgasbord of cool actors.
Together, they're America's designated hitters against terrorism.
And I'm sure this movie hasn't aged well. I haven't watched it since probably the 90s. I'm sure it's got some cheese in there, but man, I really enjoyed this back in the day. It was kind of like a military version of Young Guns. And this other movie is called Frantic. It's got Harrison Ford. Man, this is a good movie. It's a Roman Polanski made this. He made Rosemary's Baby and a whole bunch of other classics. Anyway, this is like a film noir kind of movie. Guy's wife goes missing in Paris, and that's all I want to say about it. It's really, really well done. I like the kind of weird tone this movie has. It's a little bit funny, but it's also really like threatening, and it's done really well. It's kind of like doesn't really fall into any particular genre really well. It kind of like makes its own kind of thing. It is a film noir kind of style though, and I would highly recommend checking this movie out. Now the game pickup here is Mortal Kombat versus the DC Universe. I was like, what the heck, you know, I love fighting games. I'm pretty sure I played this, 5, 6, 7 years ago whenever it came out, and I quite enjoyed it, you know. It's not the greatest fighting game ever made, but the mixture of Mortal Kombat characters and DC characters make it pretty interesting. Good production values in this game. I love my 360 stuff though, so I got this one. More VHS madness. I got Black Rain and Bullet. Let's start off with Bullet, the good old Steve McQueen's 70s classic. I would say this is probably Steve McQueen's best movie. You be the judge. This is the one I would say is probably my favorite. It's really good. It's got that 70s kind of grittiness, crime, car chase kind of movie. Very cool if you've never seen. And Black Rain, this is Ridley Scott's most underrated movie. I think this is one of his best. Michael Douglas yet again.
From the back alleys of Manhattan.
Well, our victims are certainly Yakuza.
To the streets of Japan.
He's brilliant in this movie. This is kind of one of those fish out of water, American guy going to Japan, investigating something kind of thing. Clash of cultures. I love the acting in this. Everything is fantastic. The look of it looks like Blade Runner. It's crazy. Great, underrated Ridley Scott movie. Way better than some of his other trashy movies like Gladiator, the most overrated movie I've ever seen. This is 1,000 times better. Next is this Radio Shack LCD golf game. It's called Golf Game. I couldn't resist this. Look how cool this is. It's obviously from the 80s. I'm assuming I can't find any date on this thing anywhere. Still got all its manuals and everything. Here it is. It's like a little pocketbook. As you can see, it's still working. I just tried it out. And yeah, full-on golf game. It's crazy. Super cool. I'm surprised the battery is still working. More VHS madness. I got Johnny Mnemonic and Roadhouse. Let's start off with Johnny Mnemonic. I know this is a majorly flawed movie and people either love or hate it. Most people hate it. I don't really care. I enjoyed this movie. It came out in the 90s. I would say mid-90s, somewhere around there.
Input the data into the brain of a human courier, like Johnny Mnemonic. Hit me.
It's based on a William Gibson novel. It's got Keanu Reeves, obviously. This is a cyberpunk movie. And yeah, this movie's got a lot of issues, but I still kind of like it. There's something about it that I just enjoy. It's got Dolph Lundgren is also in this movie. He plays a character called the Street Preacher, which is such a cool character. I absolutely love it. Anyway, this movie could have been way better, but I don't really care. This is fun. If you like cyberpunk, you should check it out. And obviously Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. How can you have not seen this movie? If you haven't, it's an 80s classic. Just a cheeseball barker bar kind of flick where he plays like a bouncer beating up dudes. You gotta check this movie out. It's just 80s nostalgia all the way. And I got 2 more pickups out of this lot. First one is Binary Domain here. This is a great game by Sega. I played this when it first came out. I thought it was excellent. Actually, I didn't like it at first. It takes quite a while to get into this game. It's like a third-person action-adventure game. It takes a while to get into this game because your weapons are really useless at the beginning of the game, and it takes forever to kill things, and it's really annoying. But once you get over that little progression, the game just gets super cool. I think that's what probably put most people off about it, but give this one a little bit of time. It's well worth playing. It's another Sega classic. And the final pickup here is Lone Wolf McQuade with Chuck Norris. This is probably my second favorite Chuck Norris movie of all time. My favorite one is Invasion USA, but Lone Wolf McQuade is right up there. This is kind of what that Walker Texas Ranger horrible TV series was loosely based on. You know, he's like a ranger taking care of business, but this was like, if it was way more hardcore. The TV show is like made for kids, but this was super cool. It's got David Carradine in it, and they have a kung fu fight at the end, obviously. Super awesome. Man, I love this movie. It's even got Chakotay from Star Trek Voyager, if you ever watch that. He's in here, he's super young. He's like his partner that Chuck hates, but they end up becoming friends. You know, the usual 80s thing. There's a part in this movie where Chuck drinks beer and basically launches his truck out from under the ground. I know what I just said doesn't make any sense. Probably the best scene I've ever seen in a movie. It's insane. I'll leave it at that. Go check out Lone Wolf McQuade. Okay, part 1 done. Let's get back to the show. Okay, I'm getting close to this place. It should just be up ahead here. And just see. Yep, there it is. I just passed it by, so I'm just going to find a parking quickly, and then I'll show you what I got for the pickups. And here we are. Let's start checking them out. So before we do that, let me just tell you a brief story about this. This was a Facebook Marketplace posting, like I said earlier. This is 15 games I'm picking up here. 15, that's a lot. It's more new games than I've bought in probably like the last 5 years all at once. I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. Most of these games were between $5 and $15 each. These are brand new games. Just taking a quick look here, they all look like they're absolutely brand new. I don't even know what happened here, but it's like this person bought a lot of games and never played them, or they kept them in brilliant condition. Regardless, they're mine now. Let's just dive into it. It's all like the modern systems. Let's start with this one. This is called Man Eater on the Xbox One. This is like a shark RPG, and I just had to get it. This game, I watched the trailer for this a little while ago, and it just looked like super fun. I mean, and I know it's going to be cheesy, but I think it'll be fun enough to warrant the really low price I paid for it. Released by Deep Silver. They usually release that kind of weird games or budgety kind of games, but this one still looks kind of fun. Next is a Final Fantasy game that I never ever got to play. I bought it on PS2 a few years ago because I never played it originally. But anyway, this is the Switch version, Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. I just love this cover artwork. If you look over here, you know, just brilliant. So good. Here it is. The little cartridge. I just love how small those are. Next is a PS4 game, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. So I haven't played an Ace Combat game in many years. I really love them. Played some of the original ones on PS1 and PS2. The last one I played on PS2 was probably number 4 or 5, something like that. Don't really remember, it's been so long. This one's PlayStation VR compatible. I don't have that, which is unfortunate because this actually looks like it really takes advantage of it, and I think it'll still be a cool game to play. I love these Ace Combat games because they are, they're not just flight simulators. They take the story element really seriously, and it gives it like a whole new twist to basically just playing a flight simulator. So love this series. Next is Need for Speed Payback. So I know this game got mixed reviews when it came out, released by EA, who are a pretty dodgy company, but anyway, I like a good racing game every once in a while, and these Need for Speed games are usually quality. This one looks like a lot like a Fast and the Furious movie. You do bank heists, I think, or heists of some kind. You do street racing. Anyway, this one's complete as usual, excellent condition. Next is another PS4 game. This one's called Owlboy. So this one, I saw a trailer of it a few years ago, and it looked really good. The 2D graphics and that just look amazing. Oh man, this one was really cheap. I think it was $5 from her. Again, complete, looks brand new. I know this game got really good reviews, so I'm really looking forward to trying it out. I always love these kind of pixel art kind of platform adventure games. Next is a game called Control by Remedy. These guys made the excellent Max Payne series and Alan Wake, if you know any of those. Really great games, great action adventure games. This game looks just as good as those. Seen some trailers for this one as well. Looks like it's more on the lines of Alan Wake, although it's still got Max Payne kind of action. Can't wait to play this. I love Remedy games. Here's another game. I would prefer to have got this on my Xbox One because I play that a lot more often, but this was super cheap. This is Ghost Recon Wildlands. This is on the PS4. So this is kind of like you make a team of kind of mercenaries and go take out drug lords in South America. This game just looked really fun, and I've got a bunch of Tom Clancy games. I'm not a massive fan of them. I think they're good, but I'm not like a crazy person about them. The last, 10 years or so, they've mainly been like kind of multiplayer experiences, and I hate that. I'm not into that. But this one looked like it had a really good kind of single player experience where you can play it by yourself and make your team. So that's what made it really appealing for me. Next is a Switch combination here. This is the Final Fantasy X and 10 Part 2 or X2 remastered version. So I played both of these on the PS2 back in the day and loved them and completed them both. They're a great series of Final Fantasy games. This one's got them both in HD. X2 was kind of weird. It was a little bit more of an action game. It was still an RPG, but it had a lot of weird action elements like jumping and platform style stuff. Not as good as 10, but still a cool complementary game to number 10. Next is a turn-based strategy game. This is Jagged Alliance Rage. So if you don't know, these were based on the original Jagged Alliance PC games from the 90s. This looks like it's very much in that kind of vein. Looks like turn-based strategy. I don't believe this is a remake of any kind. This looks like an original game, just using the Jagged Alliance, name. It's THQ Nordic, so they put out a lot of really good games that are like kind of under the radar. I like the fact that they put out games that are just a little bit different than the usual run-of-the-mill trash that you see out these days. So another game that I'm interested in trying out. Here's another Switch game. This one's called Vampire. It came out on most of the other systems as well. Focus Entertainment. They also make kind of budgety games, but this is like a vampire game, like a third-person action game. Kind of saw a trailer for this ages ago, and it looked interesting. I never really followed whether this game got good reviews or not. Not that I really care, to be perfectly honest. This again was super cheap, so I was like, I'll just give it a go. So this is another strategy game based on a classic PC game series. This is an HD remaster of Commandos 2, which came out on the PC back in the 90s. Really good game. This looks like it's exactly the same, just HD'd up. I think this would work really well on the Switch, going by the control scheme of that thing. I remember playing it for hours. I loved the atmosphere, and the graphics were just exceptional. It's kind of like a 3/4 view kind of look, asymmetric, great. Next is an RPG called Code Vein on the Xbox One. So RPGs are my favorite game genre of all time. Unfortunately, over the last 10 years, I've just had no time to play RPGs anymore. I've completed very few of them. I just don't have the time to dedicate it. You know, when you're younger, you could just chop through those 100-hour RPGs like they were, you know, spreading butter on toast. But now, I can't even manage to dedicate 5 hours to a game, never mind 100, which is unfortunate. Again, super cheap, so I was like, you know what, maybe there'll be an opportunity where I can play it. And yeah, great condition. This looks really intriguing. I like the anime art style. It looks like it's definitely an action RPG going from the trailer I watched a little while ago. Next is a game I played originally on my Xbox original, Munch's Odyssey. Man, I really enjoyed this game. This is part of the Oddworld series. Super fun game. You play old Munch, and he's in a wheelchair, and he's trying to escape this place. And oh man, it's so much fun. The sound and the character designs are so funny in these games. And yeah, this looks like it's one of those, you know, kind of remaster kind of deals. Looks really cool, super cheap, and so it fits all the criteria that I like in a game. So yeah, give old Munch a go again. Next is a series that I kind of just forgot existed for whatever reason. This is Soul Calibur. This is the one with it's got Geralt from The Witcher 3, so that definitely made me want to try it out. And I haven't played one of these Soul Calibur games in such a long time. I don't even remember what the last one it was. I think it was on the Xbox original was the last one I played. Whatever number that was, 3 or 4. 3? I don't know. I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long. But again, this was super cheap, so I was like, yeah, take it. And the final game here is the Switch version of Ghostbusters, the video game. This is a remastered version. I originally played this on my Xbox 360 and absolutely loved it. It is exceptionally well-made game. You know, this should have been the third Ghostbusters movie. This would totally encapsulate it. It's got everything you want as a fan, and gameplay is excellent. This is a great game. I'm so glad I got another physical copy of it. I sold my Xbox 360 one, you know, way back whenever I played it. Again, regrets. You know, I haven't sold games since a certain period of time. I just stopped and started just collecting. And it's much better that way. Just get rid of the ones you actually don't want or hate, and keep everything that you like. You should just keep it, because you'll end up regretting it later. But yeah, so this is the remastered version. I'm intrigued to play this one and check it out. Okay, so now we're going to head out to my second Facebook Marketplace pickup. This is more like a mini TV / VCR combo. So this is free, so how could I possibly pass it up, right? So in the meantime, you can check out part 2 of my thrifting adventures.
And back to the thrifting. Me and my daughter are on the hunt to find some cool goodies. And I found Dead End Driving, cool Australian exploitation movie, picked that up. And Black Rain with Michael Douglas. And some trashy sports games. Oh, Perfect Dark on the N64. The Oak Ridge Boys, Country Harmony. Whoa, look at these mutants. Whoa, look at this little munchkin. Oh my goodness, tainted the thrift. And I found an Xbox original, it's only $10, but I plugged it in and the disc tray didn't work. Real pity. And back to some games. A lot of trash here. Oh, Rainbow Six 2, Vegas, not bad. And you got the Splinter Cell trilogy, pity it's on the PS3, I don't collect for that really. And some more stuff that I already own, like this X-Men Legends 2, already got it. Mass Effect 2, got it. And I saw this James Bond collection. You got volume 1, 2, 4. Pity there was no... Oh, yeah, there was 3. Excellent. Some VHSs. I found what is undoubtedly my favorite Sylvester Stallone movie. Good old Cobra, such a sleaze fest. And some more games. And I spotted this Aliens vs Predator Gold Edition on PC by Rebellion. Pity I already have it. Still cool to see. And my daughter is hunting for toys over there. I spotted this massive Transformer thing. Look how big it is. Holy cow. Back to the hunt. And we got electronics, PS3s, got an Xbox Original, PS2, Xbox 360, NES clone, another 360. Jeez, it's like a dumping ground over there. And we got Big Trouble in Little China, my favorite Kurt Russell movie. And holy cow, Desperado, super cool, getting that. Thank you very much. I braved the record section once again to witness the McCarters, The Gift. The Gift is whoever permed their hair, I guess. And Brenda Lee, only when I laugh, the irony of it. What is she wearing? Holy cow. And some more VHSs. Johnny Mnemonic, 90s classic. I know it's not that good, but I still really like it. And the hunt continues, heading over to the electronics section in this store. My daughter also picked up something, as you can see. And I found one of these Namco light guns, pretty cool, but I was not going to pay what they wanted. No thank you. Look at these mutants, holy cow. Anyway, found a cool Dick Tracy book. 1931 to 1951. Pretty cool, but it was really beat up. I even opened it up and the pages were kind of trashed. It's a pity. And looking for some more games. No thank you very much. And yeah, Marvel superheroes, see that all the time. Oh my goodness, one of the worst movie trilogies I've ever seen. Tainted. And back to electronics. And we got this golf game, LCD thing, really old looking, from Radio Shack. I just had to get this, $1. And I found the Three Stooges, the originals. Wow, super cool. More looking around, games. Ooh, found Lynx, the Xbox One, 2004, haven't got that, so I picked that up. And some more VHSs. Found Romancing the Stone, my mom's favorite movie. This is actually a really good movie, great adventure flick. And some more games. Ooh, found Lost Planet, I used to have this. Picked that up. Skyrim, you see that thing everywhere. Splinter Cell, seen that a million times. Ooh, Wii U stuff, not very common in thrift stores. Turok, already got it. Ooh, Mortal Kombat vs DC Universe, I'll pick that one up. Seem to come across these Merlin things quite often. I think they're Simon Says kind of games. I've seen them quite a few places. And back to games, Speed Racer, the video game, I got that, I still have not played it. Lego Dimensions, holy cow, how many Lego games have they made? Skylanders, never ending. And Gran Turismo, definitely not my favorite car racing series of all time, that's for sure. And Microsoft Zune, wow, still packaged. And we got a Wii. This is the budget version of the Wii, as if the Wii wasn't a budget system enough, they had to make a budget version of it. And ooh, Mafia 2 for $2. Oh, hells yes. And another whole big trash fest, yeah. Trash. Ooh, I might come back for that. Trash. And Lynx LS, wow, found the PC version now. Big box version from Access, wow, from the 90s, love it. Oh, double dose of Eddie's VHSs on the end here. The good old Chuck Wagon. Lone Wolf McQuade, super cool movie. And Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze, hells yes. And I found a box of discs, the 3.5-inch PC formatted discs, 10 of them, nice. And there's a PS3 fest, they're coming out of the woodwork. Whole Uncharted series there if you wanted the originals. PS3 games are popping up everywhere now. Hunted, oh man, I wanted this game to be so much better than it is. It's kind of trash though, unfortunately. World Championship Paintball. Give me a break. Anyway, here is Frantic. This is a Harrison Ford movie. Not many people have seen this one, unfortunately. It's great. Check it out. Ooh, New Kids. Oh my god, what are they wearing? This is it's terrible. Hanging Tough. I don't think so. I'm still gonna buy it. And what is this? Oh, Battlefield 1, one of the weirdest covers for a World War I game I've ever seen. Strange. Whoa. GameCube game. You just don't come across these anymore. Dave Mirror 2. This is actually a pretty fun extreme sports game.
Okay, so we're on to thrifting pickups number 2. So let's get started with all these ones. First up, double VHS madness. You got Firewalker and Desperado. Let's start off with Firewalker. This is Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr. Just going by that ensemble, you already know that this is going to be a bad movie, and it is. I love it. I love this movie. It's terrible. It's flawed in every single way. It's cheap.
Stay cool, Leo. No matter what happens, let's just keep our heads.
It's trashy. It's horrible acting. Production values are awful. Action's terrible. Everything about this movie is terrible. It's made by Canon, so you know it's a sign of quality. Anyway, great, dumb adventure movie. Worth watching just for a laugh. Best part about this movie is that the bad guy is played by that guy Billy, I think his name was, in Predator, you know, the big dude. He has an eye patch in this movie, and it's on, like, I think his left eye. And then at some point in the movie it switches to his right eye, and this isn't a comedy, by the way. It's just bad movie making. So look out for that. And the other one is Desperado. Need I say anything about this movie if you've never seen it? It's Antonio Banderas at his absolute best. It's a Robert Rodriguez movie when he used to make really good movies. Anyway, this is the sequel to El Mariachi. If you don't know who El Mariachi was, it's Robert Rodriguez's first movie. It's an independent movie. It was shot for some ridiculously small amount of money, like $10,000 or something. This is, I would say it's basically a remake, not really a sequel. It's really a remake done 1,000 times better. It also has Salma Hayek, who's usually terrible, but in this movie and From Dusk Till Dawn, she's pretty good, so check this one out. As a games pickup, this is Mafia 2 on the Xbox 360. This game's in excellent condition. I used to have this. I love this game. I played it through multiple times. This is one of the rare games I actually played through on the hardest difficulty because I loved it so much, and I completed it again. I've completed it about 3 times, and excellent story, everything. I just recently played the Xbox One, you know, the definitive edition, the re-release of the original. I want to play the re-release of the sequel now, but anyway, it's cool to find the original 360 version here. Next is a cassette pickup. I don't pick up these things often, but whatever. This is Miami Vice on cassette, the soundtrack. Absolutely love this soundtrack. So cool to get this. Can't believe I found this. There we are, good old cassette. This has got obviously Phil Collins is In the Air Tonight on here, so makes it well worth getting just for that song alone. It was used so well in the first episode of this series. Absolutely love this show. Don Johnson at his best. More dodgy VHSs. We got Princess Bride and POW. Let's start off with Princess Bride. This is my wife's favorite movie, or one of them anyway. This movie is super cool, fantasy movie, comedy. It's just great fun. Any movie that starts off with Fred Savage in his bedroom playing on his Commodore 64, playing Hardball by Accolade, gets my vote for a good movie. And this one, I haven't actually seen this before, POW, The Escape. It's got David Carradine and it's made in the 80s. You know this is going to be a terrible movie.
2 men in a no man's land, playing a game of trust and betrayal.
David Carradine just acted in complete garbage, but I just got a feeling this is going to be fun to watch. 80s Vietnam movies are always fun. They're so super cheesy and unrealistic. And I mean, just look at that cover. It's worth getting for the cover alone. Next is Lost Planet on the 360. Pretty glad I found this one. I played this when it originally came out and really liked it. I thought it was overrated, you know, they really went crazy on it, but it's a good game made by Capcom. They made the sequel. I played the sequel. I never finished that one. I kind of enjoyed it, even though it was quite a bit different. More VHS madness. We got Invasion USA and Repo Man. Let's start off with Repo Man. This is a cool movie. It's actually not a great movie. It's flawed big time. Every time I watch it, I'm slightly disappointed, but it's kind of weird. I've watched it a lot of times, and I still kind of like it. I want it to be better than it is, but I still like it. It's got Emilio Estevez. This is one of his best roles. He's an absolute jerk in this movie.
You're all Repo Man.
What if we are?
But he's the main hero, so you just kind of got to go with it. And this is cool. I love this beat up version of it too. It's not like in perfect condition here. It's old VHS from a video shop. And Invasion USA, the Chuck Wagon continues. This is my favorite Chuck Norris movie of all time. This movie has the most ridiculous plot. I've mentioned it in some of my videos before. Terrorists try to take over the USA. Yes, terrorists try to take over the USA. Not like a state in the USA, not a city. The USA. It's beyond ridiculous. Anyway, Chuck takes care of business. He shoots the last dude at the end with a rocket launcher. What more can I say? Next is another 360 pickup, Battle Stations Midway. I used to have this. I think I sold it when I was selling games at that time. I wish I never sold so many of my older games, but anyway, this game is super cool. It's kind of a mixture of strategy and kind of action. It's like real-time battle, and you can jump between all different like boats and planes. It's got a massive strategic element with the map and trying to send your troops everywhere. Man, this is cool. This is made by Eidos. They made a sequel to this. I think it was Battle Stations Pacific, something like that. Anyway, glad to have this one back as well. Next is an unusual find. I got 2 big box PC games. This is Lynx LS by Access Software, and yeah, it is the Lynx Championship course. I can't believe I found these. Big box PC games are becoming so hard to find these days. I never find them in thrift stores anymore. Obviously, this is made by Access. This is not like Lynx 2004. This is when they were still making their games, and Access made Beachhead and Raid Over Moscow and the Tex Murphy series, all those great games. This one's endorsed by Arnold Palmer there. And I also got the Lynx Course Firestone Country Club. How cool is that? These games are complete and in excellent condition. I can't believe I got these. Here's another game. This is Ghost Recon 2 on the Xbox Original. I really love over here. This was bought by a guy called Sean McCarthy. He signed for it. It was bought from the Lethbridge Regional Police Service, so this was obviously a stolen item, and he went and bought it at a police auction. I'm assuming this game's in good condition, even though it was stolen. Shadow of the Colossus instruction manual for PS2. Okay. The Ghost Recon one is underneath there, so I still got that. If you never played any of these, they're like military kind of third-person action games. Quite good, not my favorites, but this game was like $1 or something like that, so why not? More VHS action. I got Stripes and Ghostbusters, a double dose of Bill Murray. Start off with Stripes. This is a super cool comedy, and I don't ever suggest comedies to anybody because I'm not a big fan of them.
Chicks dig me because I rarely wear underwear, and when I do, it's usually something unusual.
It's also got Harold Ramis from Ghostbusters, Egon, and it's got John Candy's in here. This movie is it's directed by Ivan Reitman, who did Ghostbusters. So anyway, man, you should definitely check this out if you haven't. And Ivan Reitman's other movie, Ghostbusters, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis, Sigourney Weaver. Man, it's a good cast. Ernie Hudson, such an underrated actor.
All right, this chick is toast.
I love this movie. This is another comedy that I would suggest. There's something about Bill Murray comedies that I don't know, it just makes me laugh. I can watch them over and over again, even though I know the punchlines, and they're still funny, which you can't really say about many comedies, especially these days. Comedies are they just go out of their way to do gross out humor, and it's not even funny. It's just kind of cringy, but back in the day, they actually made real comedies. You might want to check this out if you haven't. This was an unexpectedly cool find. This is called a Workstation Light. This is from the 90s. It's like a fluorescent light that sits above your old monitor. I've actually already put this on top of my old PC, and it's a super cool. It works 100%. I can't believe it. It's boxed. It has the full thing in here, instructions, everything. It's like it was never used. It's like in perfect condition. I'll show you what it looks like now. And the final of the Thrift pickups is the entire series, the original mini-series from the 80s. If you've never watched this, this is the original version. They did one, this is on a double cassette, by the way. They did a remake of this in, I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. I never watched that, so I can't really say anything about it, but this is the original one. This is what spawned the TV series. The TV series, the original 80s TV series, was not as good as the original miniseries. This was like really high production values for the time anyway, and the TV series kind of dipped quite a bit in quality and storylines, even though I still watched it and enjoyed it. Yes, it's got good old Mark Singer from Beastmaster, if you remember that dumb movie series. They also made a Commodore 64 game out of this, which I never had the instruction manual back in the day, and I couldn't even get past the first blast door to get into the spaceship really, so yeah, that didn't go anywhere. Made by Ocean, obviously. Okay, I'm back. I just put the TV in the trunk. I hope it works. The woman said it worked. It's free, obviously. It's a little VCR TV combo. I think it's going to look really good in the games room. Anyway, so let's find out. We'll jump to the future and see if that worked. Okay, so now that all that's done, we're going to head out to a place called the King of Trade. I've been there before in a previous video, you should check that one out. I've got a bunch of doubles of games that are in my trunk, or games that I don't need. You know, a couple of ones that I'm never actually ever going to play, and I don't have any intention of playing, and see what other cool games I can get there. Here we are, King of Trade with my daughter. We're going to go trade all those games. And there's a C64 Mini, nice to see one in the wild. And Venture, a really good copy of it on ColecoVision. There's so many games here, honestly, it makes your head hurt. It's really hard to even find stuff you want to buy because there's so many choices. Anyway, I found this really weird Mario Brothers collection thing. It's like a soundtrack. I've never seen this before. It's very intriguing. And down below now, they've got a recreation of Blockbuster, just full of movies of all formats, DVD, VHS, Blu-rays. So if you're into that kind of thing, come check it out. And look at that old TV, super cool. Look at it all. Okay, so just back from the King of Trade. I took all those games that I obviously was never going to play. And you know, I don't really care what the value of those games are. Value of games, money-wise, is completely irrelevant to me. Maybe I could have got more for them, maybe I could have got less, who cares? And a lot of them were doubles as well. So I traded them and I got 10 games from King of Trade, and these ones I actually want to play, or at least try out. So let's start off with the first one. I got Impossible Mission 2 on the NES. So it's kind of a weird cover. I've never seen that one before. Yeah, it's released by American Video Entertainment. Anyway, this game was originally made by Epix, and it's a sequel to Impossible Mission, obviously. Impossible Mission 2. I've never played the NES version of this, so I'm kind of interested. It's probably not going to be good. Most NES versions of Commodore 64 games are usually terrible. They just couldn't get it right. The NES is NES is an overrated system anyway, but yeah, they just couldn't get that right. But I wanted to get this because I'm a big fan of the series anyway. I just wanted to check it out. Next is Fatal Frame 2 on the original Xbox. I'm so glad to get this game. I never played this one. This is one of these kind of ghost camera kind of thing, adventure games, horror adventure games. This is made by Tecmo. Anyway, this game is in really good condition. This is the director's cut, Crimson Butterfly, so that's cool. Anyway, I'm looking forward to playing this. I really like these games. They're really well made, and nobody really talks about them much anymore. Next is something kind of weird. This is the Super Mario Bros. History 1985 to 2010. So this isn't a game. This is to celebrate the 25th anniversary, apparently. It's a soundtrack to a whole bunch of Mario Brothers games. So that's a CD. It's got all this track listing at the back. You can't see it because it's written in gold. Anyway, it's also got this really cool manual. Check this thing out. It's like a history of like Mario Brothers stuff. It's really nice. Was this part of a, if anybody knows, was this part of like some sort of package? Did it come like as a special edition as part of a game? I'm not really sure. I've never come across it before, but anyway, I thought it was cool. It was super cheap, so I picked it up. Next is Spy vs. Spy on the Xbox original. I've been wanting to get this game for so long. I still have never played it before. I'm obviously a big fan of the Commodore 64 original versions, Spy vs. Spy 1, 2, and 3. This looks like it's in the same kind of vein, just in 3D. If you don't know, these characters are based on Mad Magazine characters. They're just spies that try and kill each other all the time. That's basically it. So I'm assuming this is going to have some sort of versus element, just like the original Commodore 64 versions. This is in pretty good condition. I don't often see this game. I hardly ever come across it. I've seen it maybe once before, and yeah, I just had to get it. Next is the Dead Space trilogy. I just had to get these. These were also extremely cheap, and they're all in excellent condition, as you can see, all fully complete. And yeah, I would like to play all these. I played the original one, and I was kind of iffy about it. I remember when I played it back in the day, just because there was a lot of backtracking, which I really hated, and it kind of annoyed me a bit. But I actually want to play these again, play all of them like as a whole big story. I'm really interested to see how it goes. They're really well made. If you don't know, they're kind of like science fiction, horror, third person, Silent Hill in space, basically, with big guns. So yeah, all three of them. Next is an RPG released by Atlas. Whenever you see that, you know you're in for a good time, especially if it's an RPG. This is called Metal Saga. Just look at that cover. This looks like it's a turn-based RPG strategy game. It looks extremely cool. I love the anime style in it too. You know, released by Atlas, you know it's going to be quality. No instruction manual, unfortunately, but the disc is in excellent condition, and so is the case. I've actually never seen this game. I've never come across it, and I just had to get it. Another one I've always wanted to try out is Ferrari Challenge. This is by System 3. Did a documentary on them recently, and I kind of came across this game as part of that, although I didn't really cover the later stuff, but it reminded me of this game because I always wanted to try it out. It looks like a really good racing game, and I really love my racing games when they're done well. And it's on the Wii, which is kind of weird, but anyway, I decided to get it. I know there was a PS3 version, but I don't care about a PS3. I'd rather play it on the Wii, even though it's probably going to be worse. But I did not pay $29 for this. This is an old electronic boutique thing. Somebody obviously traded it in. This game is complete as well. And the last of the King of Trade stuff is Taito Legends 2. This is obviously a collection of Taito games on the PS2. This is all arcade games. You have 39 arcade games on here. Wow. So many good ones. Darius, Elevator Action Returns. I think this is the only way you can play this game in English officially. It was never released, the Saturn version was never released over here. It was released in Japan. Obviously it's based on arcade, but this is the only other way you can play it officially. And Puzzle Bobble 2, Space Invaders DX. Oh man, there's so much good stuff on here. Fully complete. Can't wait to mess around with this. It's going to be really fun. And that's it. That's another episode of Loot and Booty. Thanks for joining me, Bastish B at 64K. I hope you had a good time. And if you can like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.